We now go on to our next speaker, Dr. Saurabh Patwardhan, Consultant Vitreoretina and ROP Services of Nandadeep Eye Hospital, Sangli, Director of a very popular fellowship program there, a surgeon par excellence with very versatile skill sets and great teaching abilities. So let's hear from this great surgeon.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And I would like to share one case of a subluxated cataract, which I managed with SICS. The audio is with the video. So let me know if the audio is working. Hello friends, I am Dr. Saurabh Patwardhan from Nandadeep Eye Hospital, Sangli, Maharashtra, India. And in this video, I'll be talking about a case of traumatic subluxated cataract and how the surgeon is thinking about these challenges: 6 clock hours of subluxation, fibrosed anterior capsule, and dense cataract. So in this situation, we have a couple of choices with us. Either we can go ahead with phacoir SICS with CTR plus CTS and PCL, or we can just remove the lens, do antivitrectomy and put a iris claw, SFIL or ACIL. So CCC is the deciding factor here. As I started with the cystitome, and in the fibrosed area I started using the forceps, but as you can see there is a fibrosed anterior capsule. So I am going to use the bimanual method by cutting this fibrosed area with the cystitome and then proceeding with the forceps in my left hand. Thus I could achieve the capsular axis here. But of course, whenever you use this method, you are unsure what is the strength of this capsular axis. So I'll be supporting the area of subluxation with capsular hooks, which are very essential in case of dealing with subluxated cataract. This supports the bag and not just the capsular margin. So once I do that, I have to decide whether I should go ahead with phaco or SICS. Now here the CCC is compromised, so it is better to go ahead with SICS, because in phaco the CCC might extend, there are higher chances. So I'm going to fashion the scleral tunnel just the usual way. I want a bigger scleral tunnel here, don't want to struggle while removing the nucleus, and this is the way to lift the nucleus from the subluxated side. Once the nucleus is out, you can deliver it through the scleral tunnel. Make sure that you don't raise the intraocular pressure too high, so we don't want vitreous prolapse here. Now you can see the capsular hooks also come out when you remove the nucleus from the bag, but I think the work is done of the capsular hooks. And then I'm going to do dry aspiration of the cortex to avoid any fluid going in, and then I'm going to insert the capsular tension ring. So in this case, because I'm not sure of the integrity of the CCC, I'm going to put a 10-0 nylon through its trailing haptic. I'm going to use bimanual method to push this CTR in the bag, and CCC held. So I removed the 10-0 nylon, and now I have threaded 9-0 Prolene through this CT segment, and I'm going to put this segment in the bag towards the area of subluxation. So you can see the central eyelet is in front of the capsular axis and two are inside the bag. And now I am going to use the standard railroading technique using the 26 gauge needle. I already fashioned a scleral flap in the area of subluxation right at the center of the area of subluxation. So what I am going to do is use this 26 gauge needle through the area, through the scleral flap at around 1.5 millimeter, avoiding the bag, and then take out this 9-0 Prolene. And then once both the sutures are out, I am going to suture it. So we don't have to over tighten it also. We want the bag to be as central as possible, but without too much of drag over the bag, and take multiple knots to secure it well to the sclera. So now we have got good bag, well supported bag with the scleral suture. And because I have already made a scleral tunnel, I am using here a large optic PMMA IOL, carefully putting both the haptics in the bag, and try to put the haptic towards the area of subluxation if possible. That is going to give us additional support in the subluxated area. And then just doing the visco wash. That's the end of the procedure. Beautifully central IOL there, and we'll see the post-op also. Very well centered IOL, good visual outcome of the procedure, and very stable IOL. For more such videos, do
That was a wonderful presentation. It was a beautiful demonstration of how you have supported your CTR. Now, whether you should do a FACO or an SICS, since the cathode appeared quite soft, I sometimes wonder delivering a nucleus from the capsular bag for SICS could be more traumatic to the bag than doing a FACO and getting off with that case. That's one question. The other question which I have is, you haven't considered that there could have been some vitreous presenting there. You haven't you stained it. You haven't thought of doing an anterior vitrectomy at all. What made you so sure about it? The third question also, which I'm going to ask right away so that you answer all three of them. When the rhexis is compromised anyway, instead of the CTR, you could have just put a CTS alone in that area of subluxation and sutured it.
So first question, I think here I was not very sure of the CCC, and because I was using the needle to cut the area of fibrosis while I was completing, so there are always chances that there might be a small weak area. And with FACO, I think one of the points Dr. M.S. Ravindra mentioned in his talk is that the IOP, low IOP procedures, maneuvers are easily possible with SICS. But with FACO, unless we have machine like a Centurion where we can operate say 20 to 30 centimeters, invariably there will be deepening of anterior chamber when I am going to do FACO. And if there is a weak point in the capsular axis, it might just extend to the posterior capsule, and then ultimately I have to go for a SA file or iris cloyer. So to avoid that, what I did, I just picked out the nucleus from the bag. Once you pick it out, I think bag is out of the picture. So we are not worried about the subluxation, and you just have to take the nucleus out. Of course, FACO also can be done. I just, calculated the risk of doing FACO versus the SICS. Second point about, I think, the use of vitreous. So on table, because it was much clear for me on the microscope that there was no vitreous at all in that area, so I didn't try to stain. If I had some doubt, I would have stained, and maybe I would have done a pars plana anterior vitrectomy in such case, because many times there are talk about how to do anterior vitrectomy. So this is the right case for doing a pars plana anterior vitrectomy rather than doing an anterior vitrectomy. And the third thing about the CTS. So what I have seen that in traumatic cataracts, unless you are sure of the amount of subluxation, because many times the subluxation may be exceeding what you feel. So it is better always to put a CTR, so that whenever you put a CT segment, the support is transmitted to all the zonules around. So in long term and even on table, sometimes it happens that if you have put only CTS, then the other part may remain, unsupported, and then you have to put another CT segment on that side. So I always go ahead with this kind of combination.
Great answers. Dr. Namrata, would you want to ask something else too?
I think very nice demonstration of cases.
Yeah.
And Saurabh is well versed with the pars plana techniques, and so that is why he can find, solutions therefrom. But I think really very well managed case.
Very
I have no comments at all. I mean, apart from saying this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Connected, Namrata, we won't